Howdy, howdy, guys. As my co-workers say, ay, ay, ay. We are, look, there's what we got ready. We're sawing hard maple through a landmine. We've been hitting metal strikes like crazy. And we're about out of bands. We screwed around until we ran out of bands. Big Mama and Raji ran up to Bear Hollow to get a couple more. I think that's their last two. So, Oscar is sick, and Rick and Ball is on Rick and Ball time. So I'm starting out. I've got the auto bench and leveler running. And if it helps you all, I haven't touched a band in 6 months. I told Rick and Ball, you better get out of bed. I'm in here touching stuff. So, this band lays like crap. It won't even stand up straight, so I don't even know if this son of a buck's gonna saw. But we're gonna sharpen it anyway, because it's the only one I got ready for this machine. They start there, so they come in dull. They start leveling and benching, and then you come check it at the manual bench, unless it's been destroyed and hit metal, which I bet both of them have. So they probably got to have teeth welded on them and everything else. And then we're going to swedge and shape and get to running it. All right, this band looks okay, thank goodness. This band, not okay. It's got teeth missing on it. We're going to have to weld teeth on it. See out there?
How are we? Just another day in paradise here.
I done told him about her screw up on the bands and stuff.
Oh, it was very good. It's been, can we say a shit show on YouTube?
No, Johnny, are you?
No, erase that. That's a bad word.
You can say shit show.
Shit show, okay.
Okay,
yes.
So how old are you? I don't know if you want to tell that or not.
Well, when I hit 70, I started in reverse, so I'm 68.
So you're past 70 and you're 68 now in reverse.
Yes, yes.
So
my license says 72, but that ain't right.
Okay.
That's wrong.
And yesterday and the day before, she stacked scrap with me all day on both, and stuck right in there with me. I'm so proud of her.
And Wade was dragging his tail between his legs, and I was still going strong.
All right, now I'm going to start swedging and shaping. Love you, Kenny. Thank you. All right. We'll start swedging and shaping. One thing I don't know if everybody realizes or not, but when you're running a bandsaw, there's not really, you can get stellite tip bands, but for the most part, a bandsaw is just a hunk of metal cut out. So the swedge and shaper is the swedge is basically a cam that you lock into the one with the air cylinder, the one that strokes like with an air cylinder. It's a cam that rolls around and basically pulls up a hunk of metal to be the face of your tooth. And it also, it makes it wide too, you know, because the cam rolls into basically the face of your tooth and then rolls up a chunk of metal. The shaper comes along behind it, and that's kind of ran by hand there. That's what I'm shaping right there. Now that shaper kind of squeezes the sides in, so it shapes, so the swedger pulls up metal and shapes the front of your tooth. And then the shaper shapes the sides, and then your grinder kind of sets the profile of the tooth, the back of the tooth, the gullet, the face, and all that mess. You know, so you're kind of, when you're sharpening a band, you got to start out with the right amount of metal pulled up and shaped to grind down into place. And you don't want to move too much. You don't want too big a curve. You don't want too small a curve, because the body's got to have some room. You know, and all these things, you know, going into it.
That teak on the front of the tooth, that's important. I learned that the hard way. But the back, you don't want to burn your teeth, you know, and you want to go at it slowly, cautiously. You want to make sure this part that you swedged up is right. There's a bunch to it, and I'm pretty green at it, so I'm not just gonna sit there and act like I got a bunch of authority about it. Alright, the benching's done, it's flashing. This is the bench, and here's the bench section of the Simon's auto bench. And then this is the leveler. And the leveler's still going. We're gonna let the leveler finish up before we pull him off and take him over to the hand bench and figure that out. You check everything at the hand bench. And here comes Guinea. She's been bringing my saw over and getting it ready. And we'll run him back. Run the carriage back and we'll get this thing off here.
You know what? It's one thing I'm having a little. It's taken me a bit to get used to, not on the filing part, but on the managing part that I've been doing here lately. You worry about every little part of the process. You know, you got a lot of good men and women around. We do. It's very trustworthy, do their thing. But everybody needs help. Hell, I need help. I got Big Mama mentors me a lot, and Mommy and Big Daddy. You know, and you know, to be able to be useful, to be able to do a skilled job usefully, to help out around when. And like in this case, Oscar's hurt. He's well, he's not hurt like an injury. He's got an issue with his leg there that acts up every once in a while. And then Rick and Ball, he's got all kinds of. He's basically a mom dad. I mean, he takes care of the kids and all this stuff. He's got a lot going on, and they need to be able to rely on me to step in and help them out when they need help. And right now, they need a little help. So I'm sticking it up on the manual bench and we're going to check this thing out. A little bit high on tension. Front tire line's a little too far back. Back tire line's not too far off. Let's check some vent teeth. Ooh, if anything, that vent just a little bit up. But it's got so much tension, it's hard to say. Now we're gonna check her back. Woo! We are high on back. All right, we got too much tension, too much back, and her front tire line's too far back. And her teeth might not be bent, but if they are bent, it's up. But I wouldn't say that at this point because it's too high in tension. So let's get her rolled. And where I'll put you all at. So we'll put our stress roll right about there and hope it's up a little bit of tension. And a little bit of back out at the same time.
It might not be bent. It's hard to say. It's got so much tension in the saw blade. This must be a newer blade. Not too much newer. I'd say never. Now they say never roll the same spot twice. And you don't want to do heavy rolls. But we got a long way to go. You don't want to do too much at once. We probably won't pull all this out this round. All in all, the saw blade don't look too bad. It's got one crack in it right here. It's been welded. So getting the body right's important. This saw is very thin and flimsy, and you're shoving wood through it at a high rate of speed. We ain't pulling none of it out either. That tire line's moving a little bit. I like that. Let's see if we're fixing this back end. We ain't doing much. I'd say we're gonna leave this saw a little high and back in tension. Because I don't want to move it all at once. I'm not gonna sit here and roll all day. Not on saw that's this new. This hard maple's in a daggone. We cut this hard maple out of a pasture pretty much, an old fenced off area. It wasn't pasture, but it's fenced off. There's fence all around that son of a buck, and it was in a field, and then all around the borders of this field was fenced from years ago. Still a lot of tension. That tire line's getting moved out there. I like the tire lines. See if I fix that back in. Not much. We'll do one more roll and call it a winner. We'll just run like that. That's why it had a front crack, because it's a high tension. They always say cracks are made in the file room. And this crack right here is from too much tension. Been there, done that. You know no more experience than I am. I probably ain't got a year and a half's experience filing. Starting to get back in the groove. I'm liking this. By golly, it's been a while. And hear how it hits flat on that anvil? When she's laying down the anvil, that's pretty good. I want that saw to feel light on this big flat anvil. Still high on tension though, but not dangerously, just a bit high. I bet you still got 30,000 back. Yep. I've moved a little on the back, but I ain't fighting that back. I'll finally work it out. Hopefully it don't keep cracking in the front from heavy tension and heavy back. Let's check in another spot or two. Yep. Not super tension, but pretty tension. Check these teeth. I don't think them teeth are bent. Just a lot of tension. Other than that, it's a pretty uniform saw. Just need to keep working this tension out, or the cracks are gonna keep up. We'll do another tracer probably. I'm probably rolling just a little too close to the teeth there. I can't help it, I'm trying to pull some of this back out. And that's my biggest leverage. I might drop back down and roll a little bit again. I like roll another round, then see, take a little chunk out of tension. I like that. Hear that down on that anvil? Lay it flat. Lay it flat. Oh, that's better. We've helped out a little bit. We need to make another roll out front so we pull some tension out. We made a different turn. Put one more light roll on the outside, we'll call this band good. We pulled a lot of tension out just there. That was the happy spot. It's hard for me, it's like a masseuse trying to find a happy spot. Not happy ending, mind you, but the happy spot. If we get this all done and it all goes good, we will have a happy ending on this saw blade. This saw blade will be happy. Here we go, moment of truth. Oh, that's what we like to see. Right there, boys and gal. Boys and gal. Ooh, look at that. Look at that tire line right there. Look at the back tire line right there. We love it. See where this baby's at. Oh, yeah. That baby is D-U-N done. D-U-N done. We're gonna chalk him up. All right, I had a little lapse in utilizing my time. I'm gonna stop chalking that. I gotta get this baby running. This machine needs to be running. That machine definitely needs to be running, but this machine needs to be running too. You need me?
I know I'm not explaining a lot going through this video and everything, but I'm here to tell you, if experienced followers watching, they'll just think I'm being a greenhorn. You know, I'm not a total greenhorn, but I'm not no veteran. But explaining all the stuff, there's a lot going into this. There's a lot that goes on a band to get it the body right and then get the teeth right and ready to saw. There's so much to explain. I can't begin to explain it in a video. I mean, it'd take multiple videos, and it'd need to be somebody a little sharper than me, because I talk myself in a circle, in a corner, once in a bit. But for the most part, I'm pretty cognitive on what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. You know, when I got into this, first thing I did is went to studying why you do what you do and how come. If you ask why when you're learning a job, it's slower at first to ask why instead of just, well, so-and-so says this or says that. You know, it takes a little longer to ask why and then answer them questions and then learn the reasons why you're doing something. But the thing is, when you ask why, when you're doing something new or learning something highly cognitive like this, you wholesomely learn the job. So when you do learn it, you really have learned it, you know, which I got a long ways to go in filing, but I basically look at it the same as I look at about any job that I learn, as I learn the job and advance through it, if that helps anybody. And this here's the leveler running. It was actually off. I had to work on it a little bit. And I got the dial off a little bit like it's supposed to. When the needle goes below 0.3 thousandths or above 0.3 thousandths, one side or the other is supposed to hit to bring a knot up or push a knot down. You know, all this is doing is leveling the band. You know, if you're sawing and a chunk of wood rolls around under between the wheel and the band or sawdust or anything like that, you know, it gets bumps and just potholes and things in the body of the band. And this thing, its job is just to flatten it out. The bench is to give it the profile to make it run, but the leveler is just to level it out and make it all flat. So now we got this leveler going good. I need to get back over to the grinder and straighten some teeth. The teeth on the saw over here, we got 213 teeth around this blade. And if they're off from one side or the other, a few thousandths, you'll start getting marking on your lumber. So you got to make sure and check these teeth to make sure they're right. And I like to do it all the way around the saw. Just make sure one side ain't leaning over too far to the other side, you know.
Hey, Bubba.
Did you put a karaoke machine in here or something?
No?
I could swear I saw you singing earlier. I was gonna put a request in. I looked in here and it looked like you were singing in the microphone.
Yeah, I was talking to the camera.
Oh.
I'm making a longer weight video.
Oh, sweet. I didn't look that shit up.
Yeah, you ain't missing much. How's it going out there?
I was doing good as long as we keep Mike even putting the ties over here where I edge.
Hey, yeah. Yeah. All right, it's going pretty good. I'm gonna have to run out and get a last few bundles on a load of cross ties ready so we can get that money coming in. And yeah, looking pretty good. We might just survive this, but look, looking pretty empty over here.
I'm sorry, that's really all I got recorded of that. I went on something different. Rick and Ball showed up, he took over. I did weld the teeth in that other saw before he got there. It was the last thing I done was weld the teeth in, and that turned out okay. Been a while since I've welded teeth in a saw. It's hard. My natural tendency is to get head deep into a job and get really good at a job. That's what my body feels comfortable doing. That's what my brain feels comfortable doing. Doing what I do now, I can't quite do that. I gotta keep looking around. You can't afford to get yourself into one, let yourself get tied into one thing. That's why I think women make great managers. Because the way a woman's mind works, she can skip subjects 100 times a minute and look into different things all the time. You know, where a man likes to do that thing, you know. But that don't come natural to me. And it's been a little struggle, but I think I'm starting to get there. But hitting on that, I wanted to hit on that to tell you this. That's why the video was basically incomplete. I ran out of footage, that's all the footage I had. I went off and done other stuff. And Rick and Ball showed up and booted me out, and he took care of it from there. He does a very important job. Rick and Ball's job is very important, and Oscar. They do a really good job for us there. Really appreciate you guys. And all the guys in the mill and stuff like that, man, it's just amazing how much of the team, the chemistry of the team, and everybody's brains. And then on management side, I started printing out some information for the guys. I was like, man, I'm telling you, before I did this job, things that used to drive me up the wall, I'm going to work on and make it better so you all don't have the anxiety and stuff like I had when I was you know, doing the jobs. So, and that's helping. I think, you know, all these things that we're doing here, I'll get into some of them in the future if everybody's interested in seeing some of that and some of the programs we're doing. But it helps everybody. You know, and other than that, it's just getting in there and getting the job done. Basically, sometimes the biggest thing you can do in the mill is just not be a pussy. I know that's nasty, but I'm just saying. All right, thanks everybody for watching. Everybody have a good one, and don't forget to smile. Later on.